The mildness of the yellow press. There is a great deal of protests made from one quarter or another nowadays against the influence of that new journalism which is associated with the names of Sir Alfred Harmsworth and Mr. Pearson. But almost everybody who attacks it on the ground that it is very sensational, very violent, and vulgar and startling. I am speaking in no affected contrariety, but in the simplicity of a genuine personal impression, when I say that this journalism offends as being not sensational or violent enough. The real vice is not that it is startling, but that it is quite insupportably tame. The whole object is to keep carefully along a certain level of the expected and the commonplace. It may be low, but it must take care also to be flat. Never by any chance in it is there any of that real plebeian pungency which can be heard from the ordinary cabman in the ordinary street. We have heard of a certain standard of decorum which demands that things should be funny without being vulgar. But the standard of this decorum demands that if things are vulgar, they shall be vulgar without being funny. This journalism does not merely fail to exaggerate life, it positively underrates it. And it has to do so because it is intended for the faint and languid recreation of men whom the fierceness of modern life has fatigued. This press is not the yellow press at all, it is the drab press. Sir Alfred Harmsworth must not address the tired clerk any observation wittier than the tired clerk might be able to address Sir Alfred Harmsworth. It must not expose anybody who is powerful, that is. It must not offend anybody. It must not even please anybody too much. A general vague idea that in spite of all this our yellow press is sensational arises from such external accidents as large type or lurid headlines. It is quite true that these editors print everything they possibly can in large capital letters, but they do this not because it is startling, but because it is soothing. To people wholly weary or partly drunk in a dimly lighted train, it is a simplification and a comfort to have things presented in this vast and obvious manner. The editors use this gigantic alphabet in dealing with their readers for exactly the same reason that parents and governesses use a similar gigantic alphabet in teaching children to spell. The nursery authorities do not use an A as big as a horseshoe in order to make the child jump. On the contrary, they use it to put the child at his ease, to make things smoother and more evident. Of the same character is the dim and quiet dame school which Sir Alfred Harmsworth and Mr. Pearson keep. All their sentiments are spelling book sentiments. That is to say, they are sentiments with which the pupil is already respectfully familiar. All their wildest posters are leaves torn from a copybook.